Hello, everybody. This is the Above the Rim Rundown, where we run down all things NBA. I am one of your hosts, Memo, and right beside me, I've got Hoops. How ya doing?
What's going on, man? Overall, been doing good. Just getting through in life and work life. Not a lot of time to really do stuff on weekdays. Weekends usually just catch up on rest, and then of course, obviously this weekend, Mother's Day, so a little bit of more family time this weekend. But yeah, overall, everything has been going good. How you doing, man?
Good. Just like you, very busy, very busy this weekend. I went to an engagement party yesterday. Today's obviously Mother's Day. We went out to get breakfast with my mom, and now we're just waiting for her to come back from work to continue celebrating that. Last week we went to the spring concert where we found out last week that Nav was performing, and we were kind of weary about that, or we weren't sure how well that was going to be, but it ended up being pretty well. It was a good time last week, seeing Leon Thomas and Nav.
Yeah, definitely agree on that. Obviously the disappointment came when we found out that Sweetie wasn't able to make it, and then the replacement was Nav out of all people. But credit where it's due, Nav honestly did the best he could, and it
Hmm.
wasn't really all that half bad. So we ended up having a good time. Whether it's the tickets necessarily worth the price that we paid for, maybe not, but at the end of the day, at least we had a good time, so I don't regret going.
Yeah, I don't regret it either. Like, we got good Hawaiian food. We just had a good time chilling out. Went to the Ferris wheel. There's stuff to do, of course, and that it was fun. Like, kind of people watching too. I know there was that one weird guy talking to you. Well, I think we were watching Nav perform. He was
Yeah.
hella weird, but it was kind of funny at the same time.
Yeah, I agree. There were like a few weird ones, but overall, I think most of the atmosphere was pretty good.
Yeah, I agree. But enough of that. We have a basketball podcast, so let's talk about some basketball. And we're gonna try to make this quick because obviously we're busy with this being Mother's Day. But we'll try to be efficient as possible, and I feel like this episode will be a lot shorter than the last, since we are now finally talking about the second round of the playoffs. It started last week, so we had an entire week of second round basketball, and it's been exciting. I was thinking about this earlier this week, how this is possibly the most entertaining playoffs since like 2020. I think that was the last like really entertaining playoffs, because there's been several overtime games, several upsets, several game winners, and we're just like halfway through the playoffs too. So it's like there's still more to come, which is exciting. I don't know. Do you agree? Because I feel like 2020 there was a lot of that too. There was like the Nuggets having several 3-1 upsets. There was several game winners from like Luca. I think no, Devin Booker wasn't in the playoffs. So he had a bubble game winner,
Yeah, that
but
was before chaos.
but
Yeah.
I know Anthony Davis had a game winner. Damian Lillard had a game winner in the playoffs that year. The Lakers obviously winning is a huge plus for us. But do you
Yeah.
agree that this playoff run is the most entertaining since 2020?
I would probably have to agree, yes, I think up to this point, I think so. Just because like there were a lot of lackluster playoff years, especially last year. Last year's playoffs was not the greatest. Um, Year before had its moments, but then obviously the finals was really boring. And then the year before that, it was like a little bit iffy. 2021, the year of the shortened season, had its ups and downs, of course, due to all those injuries. I would say definitely very arguable that this year might very well be the best one since the bubble.
Yeah, and a lot of these second round games are definitely a big reason why it's super entertaining. And we could start talking about some of these games, starting with the Thunder versus Nuggets. This has been a very competitive series, and I'll have you go over these few games because yeah, they've been crazy. They're playing right now as we're recording too, and so far
Yeah.
it's been looking pretty tough. I believe in the first quarter it was like 14-8, OKC winning, like very low scoring.
Yeah, 17-8. Apparently, there was a stat saying that was the lowest 25 combined points in the first quarter, tied for the fewest in NBA playoff history. So
That's
that
crazy.
was shocking. Yeah. Anyways, starting with game one, this was a game where Denver started off good, was a spark going up eight in the first, but then OKC just pretty much took control the rest of the way, went up by as much as 14, and it seemed like they were gonna pull away up nine with 3:02 left. But unfortunately, this is where they would end up having a collapse. With 107 left, Joker hits a huge three to pull up the Nuggets to within one. And then 14 seconds left after SGA makes two free throws to give OKC a 3-point lead. Controversial moment came with 11 seconds left. The Nuggets did not have Joker on the floor. OKC decided to foul. And so this allowed the Nuggets to bring Joker back into the game. And then Gordon makes two free throws. Now the Nuggets have to foul again. Foul Holmgren. He misses two huge free throws. And so then the Nuggets dribble the ball down floor. Russ finds Gordon, and he hits a huge go-ahead three. OKC has no choice but to chuck up a full court prayer, and it did not fall. So Nuggets were able to steal game one off a miraculous comeback at the. That was definitely fun to watch for sure, especially Aaron Gordon having that game-winning dunk against the Clippers in the first round, and then he has another game winner this time on the three. It's been a nice playoff run for him, to say the least.
Oh yeah, he's been super clutch. Nikola Jokic was clutch in this game too. Yeah, he didn't have the game winning point, but he was a monster. In the fourth quarter, no matter what OKC threw at him, they would like throw Caruso or Shea at him, and he'll just back them down. If it was Isaiah Hartenstein, there was this play where he had the ball on like the top of the key or like at the three, and was pump faking like 1,000 times, and then eventually just shot it over Isaiah Hartenstein. Like he has like the slowest release ever. Still was able to get that in over him. So like yeah, he had a monster game. What did he have? Like a 40-20 triple doubles? Not triple double, double double. I believe he didn't get much
Something like
assists.
that, yeah.
Yeah, which is by far his best game in this series so far. The next two games he didn't do quite as good.
But game two then came along, and this is when OKC came out firing and looked super angry coming off the game one upset loss. After the Nuggets had a brief 2-point lead in the first quarter opening minutes, OKC took complete control the rest of the way and never trailed again. And in the fourth quarter, OKC went up by as much as 49 points. For OKC, Shea led the way with 34, 4, and 8 on a very impressive 11 of 13 field goals, which is 84.6% shooting. J-Dub added 17, Holmgren added 15, Isaiah Hartenstein and Isaiah Joe put up 14 each, Lou Dort had 12, Aaron Wiggins and AJ Mitchell put up 10 each. And then for the Nuggets, Russ put up 19, Joker put up 17, Murray put up 14, Gordon put up 10, and it just wasn't enough. Clearly, not even close. Tough blowout loss for the Nuggets, and that was a great bounce back win for the Thunder to tie the series at 1-1.
Not just the Thunder, but
So,
Chet as well. Like he had a horrible game in game one, obviously missing those free throws. Aaron Gordon scored the game winning three in his face. This was a much better game for Chet, which a lot of people were nervous about because I think Chet and J Dub had poor performances in game one, so they were able to bounce back in game two, and OKC ended up looking like OKC. That we kind of assumed they'd be super dominant in the series, and they were in game two, but game three not so much.
yeah. Game three was a lot more competitive. Seemed like it was a really back and forth throughout, but it just seemed like OKC had more control in the first half. They led for a good amount. I think they went up by as much as 9 at one point. Then in the second half, the Nuggets came firing and were able to have a little bit of a lead themselves. Biggest lead for both teams was 9. Nuggets led by 9, Thunder led by 9. But in the final minutes of regulation, OKC was up by 3 with, I want to say, under a minute, something like that. But then that's when Denver just took control in crunch time. Oh, okay, I got it exactly. So 33 seconds left. OKC was up by 3, and then Aaron Gordon, continuing his clutch play, makes a game tying 3 to force overtime. But then in overtime, Denver just absolutely took control, outscoring OKC 11-2 and getting themselves a huge game 3 victory to go back up in the series 2-1. And so, leading scorers of this game for the Nuggets, Jamal Murray put up 27, Aaron Gordon put up 22, MPJ put up 21, and Jokic put up 20. For OKC, top scorers, J-Dub put up 32, Shea and Chet put up 18 each, and Isaiah Hartenstein put up 10 points. So that was a tough finish for OKC, to say the least, folding in the final minutes of the fourth quarter and overtime. But a really big victory for Denver to regain the series lead. And as mentioned earlier, that game 4 is currently being played right now. OKC currently leads by 6 at halftime, and I feel like in a way this is a little bit of a must win for both teams. I would say honestly more so for the Nuggets though, because Thunder probably, I mean, obviously it'll be hard, but I think the chances of them coming back from a 3-1 versus the Nuggets winning it only tied 2-2 might be a little better chance because they should be the better team. And like they would have 2 home games, 1 road game versus the Nuggets would have to play more road games. So definitely a crucial game 4 currently intact.
Yeah, but just a few notes on Game 3 as well. I feel like Aaron Gordon deserves a huge shout out once again for continue being the clutchest player on the team, which is crazy since Nikola Jokic was a top 3 finalist for Clutch Player of the Year. We know Jamal Murray is very clutch himself, and Aaron Gordon is looking like Kobe out there with these clutch game winners in the first round, second round, and in overtime. He was really, I believe he was the one that scored the most in the overtime portion of the game. So yeah, shout out to him. I know there's this quote going around of him saying that he really wants to get a ring for Russell Westbrook, and it looks like he's really trying out there to get that ring for him because right now he's looking like a superstar. He's amazing out there. And yeah, we didn't. By the time we recorded our episode last week, we didn't know who was gonna be facing the Thunder. I think I predicted that was going to be the Clippers. You predicted it was the Nuggets, something like that. And it ended up being the Nuggets. So we never made our final predictions on who would win this series and how many games, Thunder versus Nuggets. But I'm assuming you were going to lean towards the Thunder, right?
Yeah, my prediction would have probably been, I think I actually predicted, well, obviously we didn't make a video predicting it,
Yeah.
but like my personal predictions, like before the series started, I had a feeling it would be OKC in 6.
Same.
And there's a good chance that might be it now. I mean, like, I just had a gut feeling it would be either 5 or 6, but I said 6 because I thought like Denver could probably steal 1 on the road and win 1 at home, and so far, obviously, that's been the case. It's just a matter of can OKC now win 3 in a row for that
Yeah,
prediction to be
now
right.
now that's the
And
thing. Like,
I think they
will
can, but it won't be easy though.
Oh yeah, they're talented enough to be able to pull that off. But the Thunder is not the Thunder. The Nuggets are looking very scary, which is extremely
They
strange
are.
since before the playoffs they fired their coach. There was a lot of question marks around this team. It looks like Jokic and Westbrook are the ones that are actually coaching this team. Like if you think this team would fall apart, but right now they are looking even better than they were in the regular season. So even they're looking better than what I thought they were going to be. Thought that the Thunder would easily have this, and our predictions could possibly still be right, but right now the Nuggets are on a roll, and I wouldn't be surprised if they end up bouncing the Thunder in the second round, which would be crazy. It'd be insane, but I wouldn't be
It
surprised
would be.
if that happens. But
Yeah, I mean, like, Nuggets have been looking really good, and to my surprise as well, come knowing that they have an interim in charge right now, and they've been looking good. Honestly, I wouldn't be shocked either if they advance to the next round or possibly even the finals. Guess we'll see.
do you know the interim's name?
Oh, David Adelman.
Because David looks kind of creepy. He looks like the Mad. I don't know if you remember those Mad cartoons. A lot of people were pointing that out because of his big ears and
You
his
know,
teeth.
I I didn't think of that one. There's that other meme of the it's like that one meme like crackhead dude with only three teeth or something.
The
Do
like
you know what I'm talking about?
the children's book. There's like a children's
Is
book
it a show?
character where like it's this kid. I kind of think his name is also
But this
David.
one,
I don't know.
but this one is not a cartoon though. Like
Oh
it's
oh
a real life person. Yeah. It's
the
a meme where like the dude has a bunch of gaps in his teeth, but he only has three teeth showing.
yeah. I haven't
So there
seen
would be
that one,
memes.
but he looks interesting. I'll say that.
Yeah, he
Um,
looks funny.
is this
Shout
it?
out to him for doing his job, though.
I,
Yeah, I think we're good to
he
go to
does
the
his
next
job
series.
sometimes. Sometimes it's Jokic. But yeah, let's move on
Yeah,
to the next series, which is Wolves versus Warriors. This is an exciting series, at least on paper, but it became less exciting. I believe game one where Steph got injured, right?
yeah.
So
He got injured game one.
that's a huge storyline.
Um,
I'll have you go over these games.
yeah. So, game one, the Timberwolves just didn't look good whatsoever. As mentioned earlier, Steph got hurt in the second quarter. Didn't matter for the Warriors. They still looked great, and the Timberwolves didn't. And the Warriors ended up winning a very easy blowout win in game one. Wolves had their biggest lead of four late in the first quarter, but that's when the Warriors just took control for the rest of the game and went up by as much as 23 at one point. Coming off a huge game seven versus the Rockets, Buddy Hield delivered yet again. He had 24 points. Jimmy had 20 points. Draymond Green had 18 points, which was crazy in itself because he knocked down four of five threes early in the first, looking like some 2K 3-point sliders on 100 wizardry. um, Steph put up 13 points in 13 minutes, so honestly, not bad knowing his limited play time. For the Wolves, Ant put up 23, Naz Reid put up 19, Randall put up 18, McDaniels put up 12. But I think one of the key things that really haunted the Timberwolves this game was the fact that they only shot 14.9% from three. No, my bad. It was 17.2% from three that game. But that was coming off a 14.9% from three game in game five against the Lakers in the previous round. So Wolves just like had a crazy run of not being able to make their threes. They got lucky against the Lakers, not so much against the Warriors in game one. So that was super costly to why they lost game one.
Yeah,
Um,
it's
any
crazy.
thoughts you like to add?
Well, yeah. So, speaking on the 3 point shooting, like it's crazy how they only made five threes, like the entire team, while Buddy Hield had five threes by himself. Like if you have the same amount of threes as a team as only one player off from the other team, then you're bound to lose. So yeah, this one was definitely a disappointing win for Minnesota. Like Steph got injured early, which is very unfortunate. I hope he comes back soon. I believe he's supposed to come back in like game six, game seven, if there's a game six, game seven. Um, so, uh, for his sake, I hope they come back soon. Even though I'm not a Warriors fan, but still, like I'm sure You would rather watch just series with all the stars playing, right? So that's what we're all hoping for. But yeah, since he got injured, the Timberwolves should have took advantage. Like this was unfortunately a lost opportunity. They could have been up 3-0. Like they could have been on their way to sweep the Warriors, but instead they lost due to Draymond looking like Steph in the first half, draining those threes. Buddy Hield has been amazing. He is an interesting player where like he has some high highs, low lows, but right now he's at the high highs. He's draining those threes. Um he's playing pretty good defense, which isn't really his thing, but he's playing great defense. Some of the best defense in his entire career. I believe it was this game where like Minnesota would try to come back. They'll be on like a small run, and then Buddy Hield just hits a three, and all momentum is lost for them. So yeah, basically as you mentioned, threes were the big thing in this game. It's the due to the poor shooting performance from Minnesota from three, the Warriors were able to get this win. But as we all know, Steph got injured, so game 2 and 3 were not in the Warriors' favor. That's for sure.
Definitely agreed on that one. And yeah, it was unfortunate that Steph had to get injured because it's always best when everyone's at full strength for both teams because obviously knowing if Timberwolves win the series, they're gonna say is because Steph was injured or vice versa. And for their sake, they better pray that it doesn't go to a game 6 or a game 7 because they might be cooked if that's the case. So yeah, tough blow for them game 1. Game 2 went a lot better for them. Um, Steph being out this game, Timberwolves took full advantage. They never trailed and they went up by as much as 25. Julius Randle put up 24, 7, 11. Ant put up 29, 5, 3 steals, 1 block. Gilgeous-Alexander Walker put up 20 points. Jaden McDaniels put up 16. Nas put up 11. The Warriors, Kuminga put up 18. Butler put up 17. Hield put up 15. Paz put up 11. And Draymond did not do good this game. He only put up 9 points, shooting 30% in this game, 3 of 10 overall, and only 1 for 6 from 3. So I think he proved that game 1 was a fluke performance and pure luck, not really skill. Anyways, Buddy Hield also had a quiet game after back-to-back breakouts. He only shot 5 for 14 from the field, which was 35.7%. However, he did make 4 of 9 threes, so there's that. So huge bounce back game for the Wolves in game 2, and I guess expected letdown for the Warriors without Steph.
Yeah, definitely the 3-point shooting was a lot better for Minnesota. They shot 43.2% from three, so that's great. That's amazing. 50.6 from the field. And yeah, they just were dominant from beginning to end, won every quarter, so they were bound to win this game. Slightly disappointed by Jimmy Butler, 17 points, 7 rebounds, 4 assists. I guess the shooting splits aren't too bad, but with Steph being out, you're gonna need to play like playoff Jimmy. You're gonna need to get those 30 points per game, because 17 is simply just not gonna cut it. Like you had less points than Kuminga. That shouldn't be the case. You're playoff Jimmy. You should play like you're in the playoffs. The stat line looks like a regular season stat line for Jimmy Butler. So yeah, he needed to do a lot better in this game. I feel like it's good. It's good Jimmy game, but again with no Steph, he needs to be amazing. He has to be at the best of his abilities, and that is just not the case. And on the other side, again, like Timberwolves did better from three. Anthony Edwards actually shot well from 3, 2 of 4, so he was able to, get 50%, 9 rebounds. That's pretty impressive. Julius Randle is continuing to make me look like a fool, looking like a goddamn all-star out there, with 24 points, 7 rebounds, 11 assists. Like he's been so good, and I'm he's been embarrassing me because I've always thought he was the biggest choker ever in the playoffs, and right now he's proving the world wrong. So shout out to him. Shout out to Gilgeous-Alexander Walker, because this is by far his best like playoff game as well with those 20 points off the bench. So yeah, not much else to say. Just a dominant win from the Minnesota Timberwolves. I guess you can move on to Game 3.
Yeah, so game three was obviously easily the most competitive, entertaining, and closest game of the series. Steph's still out in the series, but this game was a lot more competitive than probably should have been. And obviously, home court for the Warriors helped a lot in that case. Um, Wolves' biggest lead was 10, Warriors' biggest lead was 7, so it was close throughout. Um, but what really cost the Warriors down the stretch was to start Draymond Green fouled out with 4:38 remaining, which was very huge. And then Kevon Looney, who subbed in for him, also fouled out with 113 remaining. And on top of that, after a quiet first half, Ant absolutely took over in the second half to help the Wolves take a huge road win and go up 2-1 in the series. Um, Ant put up 36 points, Randall put up 24, and McDaniels put up 15. For the Warriors, Butler put up 33, Kuminga put up 30, and Hield put up 14. And easily the best, most competitive game of the series so far, but Timberwolves were able to get the huge win, and they currently lead 2-1 in the series.
Yeah, this game definitely shows that the importance of Steph because it was such a close game. Jimmy Butler was able to do his job in this game, getting 33 points, 7 rebounds, 7 assists. He did well, but obviously they just needed a few more points, and Steph would have provided that for sure. It was interesting seeing Draymond Green being fouled out. He's been doing a pretty good job towing the line. It's playoffs. He'll get his flagrants. He'll get his technicals, but he will. He finds a way to not get ejected. He finds a way to not foul out. But in this game, he did get fouled out. Fouled out in the third. You said, was it in the third?
No, it was in the fourth. It was like 4:38 remaining
Oh
in the
yeah,
game,
yeah, yeah,
so
yeah. Which,
it was still crucial, but
very crucial. It was a close game, so they could have
yeah.
used his defense for sure to slow down Ant, who was amazing in this game. He had what 36 points. But Julius Randle also had a great game as he's been doing. He had a triple double in this one, 24, 10, and 12. So, uh, yeah, if Steph doesn't come back soon, then this might be over really, really quickly. The Warriors just need to win one. They just need to win one in order to get to Game 6. And what? So what's is the next game? Yeah, the next game is home, right? For the Warriors,
Yeah, game four in Golden State. So
must win.
I feel like they definitely do need to win that one.
Yeah.
I hope not, but they have to for their sake.
Uh, this is another series where we did not like on a video have our predictions ready due to the fact that the Warriors were still going against the Rockets last week. So, did you think that the Timberwolves were gonna end up winning the series? Did you think the Warriors were going to win it? Did you think it was gonna be a long series? Like, what was your prediction going into this?
I think I would have predicted I definitely predicted Timberwolves to win it. It was just a matter of how many games. I think I predicted 6 games.
I would
Um
have done like
after
six or
seeing
seven.
Yeah. But I will say, like, after seeing how poorly they played in game one, I think that they got a huge break when Steph got hurt. Because
Oh,
if
for sure.
not, then the Warriors might be like blowing them out right now. So, see, I'm glad I'm, I didn't want Steph to get hurt, but I'm definitely glad that the Warriors are not in a blowout series lead at the moment.
Yeah, the series might end up
That's conflicting.
being a lot shorter, but you're right. It is conflicting because we want the Timberwolves to get by rather quickly too, so they could get their rest. But it sucks that Steph is not out there. I know he really wants to be playing, and he. Although I don't like the Warriors, I am a big Steph fan, so it is conflicting, but it is what it is, I guess. Shout out to the Timberwolves for being able to take advantage of that absence in Game 2 and Game 3. Let's see if they could win Game 4, which is going to be very pivotal for both teams, but especially the Warriors if they want to extend the series and have Curry play on the court one more time this year. So I guess we could move on to the Eastern Conference if that's fine with you, starting with the Cavs and the Pacers. This definitely has had a very surprising start. We did talk about this series last week. I believe I said Cavs in 6. Could still be the case, but right now the Pacers are in the lead in the series, 2-1. But yeah, I'll have you go over this series.
Yeah, so as you mentioned, quite a shock so far. Pacers looking really impressive. They game one and game two really, especially game one, came out firing, led the majority of the game, and leading by as much as 12 versus the Cavs only leading by 4 at one point. Pacers shot a red hot 52.8% from three. Embiid was 23, Tyrese was 22, Siakam and Nesmith was 17 each, Turner with 13, Mathurin with 11. For the Cavs, Donovan Mitchell doing his job per usual with 33 points, Ty Jerome 21, Evan Mobley 20, Jarrett Allen 12, and DeAndre Hunter 11. And I think what really was super costly for the Cavs was the fact that Darius Garland was not able to play. And the Cavs tried to come back, but the Pacers' hot three-point shooting was just too much for them, and they were able to steal the game one victory on the road.
Yeah,
Anything?
Darius Garland is definitely an important piece to the puzzle for the Cavs. They definitely needed his shooting out there since the Cavs only shot 23.7% from 3, while the Pacers basically doubled that with 52.8 from 3. Almost the same percentage from 3 as their field goal percentage, 53%. So they needed his shooting. They just needed another ball handler as well. Donovan Mitchell was good. It took him 30 shots to get 33 points, which, not the most efficient. I think if his points was, what was it? Is it allocated? Just like if he had less possession, if the ball was being passed a bit more, um, then yeah, the offense would have been better for the Cavs. And Darius Garland can help with that a lot since he is by far the best, um, I guess, ball handler and distributor on the team. But yeah, shout out to Donovan Mitchell though. He tried without Garland. He did kind of have to go ball hog mode and hero ball mode. And he was able to get 33 points. He's been killing it in this series. I know the field goal percentage isn't the best in this game, but still, he was trying to do his best to uh, carry the Cavs, but the defense on the Pacers side was very impactful with the Nemhard and Nesmith slowing him down. Um, so yeah, Cavs unfortunately lost game 1 and game 2. Game 2, part of the reason why they ended up losing game 2 is similar to the reason why they lost game 1 because of injury, right? Darius Garland wasn't there, but so was Evan Mobley. He was injured, and DeAndre Hunter was injured, right?
Yeah. So, breakdown of what happened in game two. The Cavs got out to a pretty strong start, knowing that it looked like they were off to an angry start to knowing what happened in game one, and they were trying to really bounce back. But that just wasn't necessarily the case. They had a strong start, and then Pacers again later, but lead up to that point. After the Pacers had a brief 5 point lead in the first, Cavs led for quite literally the rest of the game until the final buzzer. They were looking great, showing why they were the one seed in the East. Well, firing went up by as much as 20 on two separate occasions, second and third quarters. Up by 14 heading into the fourth quarter, Cavs collapsed, and this was shades of reminiscent to Game 5 versus the Bucks in round 1. Pacers made another miraculous comeback late in the game when they looked dead in the water. Down by 7 with 48 seconds left, 119 to 112. Pacers once again pulled off the unpredictable, coming off two missed Siakam free throws. Nesmith was there to get the putback dunk, and absolute stinger came for the Cavs when on the following possession, Donovan Mitchell was called for an offensive foul on the inbounds when he pushed off Nesmith. And the worst part about that, it only took 2 seconds off the game clock. So, following Pacers possession, Tyrese layup gets blocked by Jarrett Allen, but Siakam is there to clean up the mess, and he gets the putback layup to pull the Pacers to within 3. And then came another bad possession for the Cavs. Max Strus, he throws a horrible inbound pass that gets intercepted by Nembhard, and that sets up the final possession for the Pacers. Tyrese surveys, drives to the basket, but gets fouled by Ty Jerome. He makes the first free throw, misses the second. However, he gets his own rebound and off the miss, takes the ball back, takes a few dribbles, puts back the 3, and he absolutely drains it. 1.1 seconds remaining, Cavs have one last chance for a full court heave. However, Dean Wade did not even get the shot off in time. Pacers finished this game on an 8-0 run to steal Game 2 and go up 2-0 in the series. And this is just another all-around tough loss for the Cavs. Now down 2-0, they find themselves in a must-win Game 3 situation, or else they are absolutely in trouble. Which we will talk about Game 3 momentarily. Are there any other thoughts you would like to talk about Game 2 before we move on to the next one?
I just want to give a quick reminder that Tyrese Haliburton isn't overrated. That was such a great clutch shot by him. I liked the big ball celebration afterwards too. That was funny. But yeah, dude, he's secretly one of the clutchest players in the league. Apparently the stats going around that he is 10 for 11 for game tying or game winning shots this year, which is insane. And he's had 2 now in the playoffs. One over Giannis to finish Game 5, and that series, and then this one a 3 over Jared Allen. Right? It was over Jared Allen.
I think so, yeah.
So yeah, shout out to the Pacers for winning this one by a hair. Unfortunately for the Cavs, they wasted a generational Donovan Mitchell game. 48 points for him. He had 17 made free throws, which is crazy. So, like I said earlier, he's been having an incredible run in this series so far, scoring wise. But obviously, he needs his teammates, and his teammates were impactful in Game 3. Even if they weren't perfect, it just helped with the depth. But yeah, we could move on to Game 3, where the Cavs ended up winning that one, which was definitely very crucial.
Yes, indeed, very crucial. And it seems like they knew that they had to win that game or their season would be on life support. Um, they came out firing from the jump. Cavs led for the entire game from start to finish. They went up by as much as 26 at one point, and there was another generational Donovan Mitchell playoff performance. 43 points. Max Strus added 20. Jared Allen put up 19. Evan Mobley put up 18, and Darius Garland put up 10. The Pacers, Mathurin put up 23. Siakam put up 18. Turner put up 15. McConnell put up 12, and Nembhard put up 10. So this was a very huge win for the Cavs to at least keep their season alive. And if they can steal Game 4 again on the road, then the series goes back in their favor.
Yeah, so shout out to the Cavs for being able to bounce back after 2 very disappointing losses. Mobley was very impactful in his return, 18 points, 13 rebounds. Darius Garland, is not the best stats, but just the depth is very important for them in Cleveland. So being able to get some contributions from him is good. Strus had a great game with 20 points. Jared Allen had 19 and 12. Obviously, as you mentioned, Donovan Mitchell was great, had 43 points, who was definitely disappointing after I've been, you know, on his side this whole time. I've been saying that he's not overrated, and I still don't think he's I still don't think he is overrated, but he did have a stinker. Tyrese Haliburton only had 4 points, 0 rebounds, 5 assists. How many turnovers did he have? He had 3 turnovers. So, if he's not going to be scoring, he should be scoring. This is the playoffs. He needs to get more than 4 points. So, for the Pacers' sake, they need him to score more in the next game. But yeah, shout out Matherin had 23 off the bench, so they were able to get some contributions, but not enough. The Cavaliers were able to win handedly in this one. So, this is definitely anybody's series. I feel like, even though the Pacers are in the lead series wise, the Cavs could definitely come back and prove that they are the best team in the East, and they're not just like the Atlanta Hawks 2.0. I forgot what year. What year was the Al Horford, Jeff Teague, Atlanta Hawks that went number one?
That was the 14-15 season.
14-15. A lot of people are comparing this Cavs team with 14-15 Hawks, basically saying that they don't believe in the Hawk or in the Cavs. They're just gonna end up losing in the playoffs and not make the finals. But we'll see. We'll see if that's the case. But right now, I still believe it's anybody's series.
Agreed on that one. I think Game 4, once again, is a crucial game to decide who really gets command of the game
Is
or the
game
series. So
4 today?
yeah, it is 5 p.m. for us.
All right. Well, I guess we'll find
So
out what
that shall
happens.
be interesting.
Yeah. Speaking of interesting, this next series, Celtics Knicks, has been very interesting. Very fun for us seeing the Celtics lose those first 2 games. They did end up winning game 1, but still, it was fun watching these games so far and seeing how the Celtics are losing in this series so far. But yeah, I'll have you go over the games.
Yeah, so Game 1 and Game 2 were practically like mirror images of each other. And it was absolutely awesome to watch as Lakers fans, Celtics haters, the Celtics completely choking in the most crucial situations, and they choked 2 20-point leads. Um, Game 1, Celtics shot the ball horribly from 3, only 15 of 60. 45 missed threes is the worst ever in a playoff game. And they went up by as much as 20 in the third quarter and just absolutely choked for the Knicks. It was in large part due to Jalen Brunson and OG Anunoby's clutch play. Both of them had put up 29 each. Cat and Hart put up 14 each, and McBride put up 11. For Celtics, Tatum and Brown put up 23 each. White put up 19. Holiday put up 16, and Pritchard put up 13. Key storyline of this game was how trash Jason Tatum was in fourth quarter and overtime. He shot a whopping 30.4% from the field, 7 of 23, 4 of 15 from three-point range. And Jaylen Brown was pretty bad too. He was 7 of 20 and only 1 of 10 from three-point range. So that was a very satisfying Celtics meltdown to watch.
Yeah.
Now, I will say this, the Knicks probably should have won that game in regulation because Jalen Brunson did miss a gimme floater that he usually would make.
Dude, that was such a tough watch.
I was pissed. I thought that like, damn, you're really gonna give the Celtics 5 more minutes to redeem themselves. You'd better find a way to win. Thankfully they did. But yes, Knicks should have ended it right then and right there. But at least they did find a way to win that game. Anything you want to add on in game one before we talk about game two?
I know that offensively, Mikal Bridges didn't have like the best game, but he still came up clutch in that game. I believe he did have a clutch three. Played great defense. I believe it was this game where the ball was going out of bounds. He went for it. Or no, he stole the ball. It was going out of bounds. He jumped in the bench, saved the ball, and they were able to score the basket. I forgot who ended up getting the ball to score. But not only that, I believe this was the game where in the final possession, Celtics had the ball, and basically when Jaylen Brown had the ball, Mikal Bridges just snatched it from his hands. Just like a give me that moment where Mikal just took it out of his hands, threw it to the other side, and it was game. So that was great. Like, there's a reason why they paid or they gave away 5 first round picks for this guy. It's because of his two-way abilities. You would wish that his scoring was more consistent, but his defense really came through at the end of this game. And yeah, very impressive. And the fact that he was able to do it again in game two is crazy. But yeah, I'll have you go over that game before we talk about that.
Yeah, so game two is practically like a mirror image deja vu for the Celtics. Choked yet another 20-point lead. Hashtag you love to see it. Um, Vintage Jason Tatum disappearing in the playoffs again. Somehow did even worse than he did in game one, shooting a whopping 26.3% from the field, 5 of 19, and he was 1 of 5 from three. And for the rest of the Celtics, Jaylen Brown put up 20, White put up 20, Tatum, as mentioned, 13, Holiday was 10. And for the Knicks, Josh Hart put up 23, Cat put up 21, Brunson put up 17, and Bridges put up 14. Despite struggling for much of the game, Brunson came up clutch and delivered at the end when it mattered most. And that was how they were able to come back from another down 20 deficit. So at this point, Knicks were able to get another huge road win to go up 2-0 in the series and looking to be in great position now to set up 2 home games in New York. And Celtics are the first team in NBA history to choke a 20-point lead in back-to-back playoff games, which, once again, you love to see it. And then I think the best part about it is those sore loser Celtics fans on Twitter complaining about like not wanting Jason Tatum out or some bullshit like that. Like, you guys gotta grow up. You guys just won a championship last year, and you're still a really good team, and you're over here crying just because one of your players had a few bad games. Like, yeah, this is why we hate Boston. It's beyond the rivalry with the Lakers. Their fans are just sore losers, and they also have a bunch of racists over there too. So, yeah, all for the Celtics meltdown.
Yeah, and what a meltdown for the Celtics. Again, deja vu moment. Mikal Bridges was able to get a crucial. I don't think it was a no. It was a steal. It was a steal because Jason Tatum was driving in. For once, a big narrative in these last few games is Jason Tatum settling for three in several of these games and was missing. So I can see why the Celtics are or Celtics fans are upset with him because the man forgets he's 6'10" and is one of the best drivers in the game when he wants to be, but he settles for three like all the time, and misses when you would want him not to. But yeah, anyways, he was driving, went to the left side, noticed that both OG and Mikal was on him, so he was gonna go for a pass, but then Mikal was able to get a steal, and that's how the game finished. It was after again great defense from the Knicks, but more specifically Mikal Bridges, who was able to pull off a important steal there. And yeah, you just love to see the Celtics crumble. Unfortunately, that's not the case in Game Three. In Game Three, they were able to pull off the win, and I'll have you go over that soon. I just do want to say, like, I like to add on to like the fan talk. Celtics fans are definitely like the worst out there. I've been loving the Knicks fans lately. Like I know they're so annoying, but Knicks fans are such like fun group of people. They are annoying. I would hate to go against them, which it's not often that the Lakers will be able to go against the Knicks in the playoffs. They would have to meet in the finals in order for us to really experience that fandom at its like best or worst depending on how you view it. But yeah, as a spectator, as someone that's looking from afar, Knicks fans are so funny. They are so chaotic. The way that they celebrate every win as if they won the actual finals is hilarious. And I just maybe it's a little corny, maybe it's a little cheesy, but it's fun. It's just them loving basketball, and that's what it's all about. So, shout out to Knicks fans, honestly.
Definitely, and I agree on that for sure. Like Knicks fans, yes, they could be really annoying, but they're also really funny if you're looking from the outside and if your team is not direct rivals with them. And yeah, obviously in this case, we are on Team Knicks, so we are enjoying what their fans are doing. Practically a Knicks fan until the series is over. So yeah, there's that. And yeah, game one and game two were very satisfying to watch. Unfortunately, game three was not the case. Celtics got off to yet another fast start. But unfortunately, this time the Knicks could not come back and recover from that. Celtics led from start to finish, went up by as much as 31 and never trailed. And leading scorers for the Celtics, Peyton Pritchard put up 23 points, Jason Tatum put up 22, Jaylen Brown put up 19, Derek White put up 17, and Al Horford put up 15. For the Knicks, it was really only four guys that did the job. Jalen Brunson put up 27 points, Cat put up 21, Bridges put up 12, and Hart put up 10. Now, if we're talking general field goal shooting, it wasn't really that drastic of a difference. Celtics shot 48.2 from the field versus the Knicks 40% from the field. But the major difference of this game was the three-point shooting. Celtics shot 50% on 20 of 40 three-point shoot, 20 of 40 three-pointer attempts, while the Knicks only shot a whopping 20% from three on 5 of 25 three-point attempts. So yeah, that would be 15 threes difference, which accumulated to 45 points difference. So not good there. Anyways, that was a very big win for the Celtics to stay alive in the series. Hopefully the Knicks can win game 4 at home, because if they don't, then that's not going to be good. The Celtics would then go back to having home court advantage and game 5 back in Boston. So I hope that the Knicks find a way to win that next game, because I do not want the Celtics to be feeling good and confident again.
Yeah, I'd be so happy if the Celtics lose in the second round. It'll just basically
Definitely.
prove that last year was a Mickey ring.
A massive fluke.
Yeah, like due to all the injuries and stuff that happened last year, and now that they have tougher competition this year, it's looking rough for the Celtics. I was watching a podcast or something. I forgot who I was watching, but they were saying that like this year, not only is like the toughest, uh, like a lot tougher for the Celtics, but like the Knicks is probably the best team they faced since in the playoffs since last year. Like the Knicks now is probably better
Yeah.
than Dallas last year. Probably way better than the Pacers last year. Way better than who else they fought? The Heat,
Cavs,
the
Heat.
Cavs. Like this is by far the best competition they face, and now right now it's not looking good for them. Um, and yeah, I guess one more thing I want to add on is just kind of disappointing to see the performance from Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, especially since they both had pretty good performances against the Magic. I know they did relatively okay in this game, but they're kind of proving why a lot of people think like Jason Tatum is overrated and corny and stuff like that, because like when it matters the most, when they need a bucket, they'll just settle for a three. That's lame. So yeah, I guess this is it. And my prediction is actually kind of ruined. I assumed that the Celtics were gonna win, and that's still a possibility. But I thought they were gonna win in five. I thought they were gonna be dominant, and so far they've lost two already. So I
Yeah.
guess we'll see how this one shapes up. But yeah,
Yeah, I think I predicted Celtics to win in six, which is still possible, but God forbid, I hope that but both of us are completely mistaken because fuck
yeah,
Boston and fuck the Celtics and
yeah.
fuck their fans.
I feel like before the playoffs started, there was like three realistic teams to make it to the finals. It was OKC, Thunder, and the Cavs. You wouldn't be surprised if those three teams make it to the finals. But at this point,
Yeah,
after seeing how crazy the second round started with all four home teams losing in game one, seeing how close
yeah,
these games have been, it honestly could be any team making to the finals.
think
Like
so,
the Knicks,
honestly.
the Knicks could make it to the finals this year. The Nuggets could make it. Like it's anybody's like trophy to win essentially. Uh, like, do you have like a new favorite to win the finals at the moment? I know when we did our predictions, we thought the Thunder were gonna win the whole thing, and it could very much be the case. If you don't want to change your answer, that's totally fair. But is there another team that you're now thinking has a really, really good chance of winning it all, or at least making the
Honestly,
finals?
honestly, at this point, I don't even know because I feel like all of those teams look like they have flaws, and yet all of the teams look like that they could be good in some occasions. So it's so hard to say, honestly. I think it could very well still be OKC. Um, but I will admit, like the way that they are playing against the Nuggets is a little bit concerning to say the least.
Yeah,
Obviously, they have time to adjust, and then for Celtics, obviously their first two games were concerning, and they looked really good again in game three. Hopefully, it's not anyone but them, honestly. Okay, anyone but the Celtics and the Warriors.
yeah,
That's the real answer. Um, but because honestly, at that point, if those two teams are out, I don't really care who wins. I'm cool with all the other teams that are still in the
same.
playoffs. Like I would still have preferences, some teams over others, but at that point, like I would be cool if with anyone. That being said, if I were to make a favorite now,
Or maybe not necessarily a favorite, but like dark horses. What are you like some dark horses
oh,
for you?
oh, you mean like a team that probably won't make it, but might like surprise some people.
Yeah, like I
Honestly,
feel like the Knicks are a big one right now. Seeing how
I
they
think
are playing, Knicks and
I would say
Timberwolves.
two. Yeah, I would say dark horses to me could be Knicks and Nuggets, honestly. Two teams that you didn't really you thought would be dead in the water maybe like a few weeks ago, and now they're playing out of their mind and looking like they could maybe make a sneaky run. I would say those are two of my dark horses, Knicks and Nuggets at the moment.
Nuggets is a good shout. I would have mentioned Nuggets as well. But
Yeah, the only reason why would be a little bit scared and hesitant to say Timberwolves is the fact that they're barely getting by the Warriors without Steph. Because I feel like that game last night should not have been that close without Steph playing. Um, at least they're getting by. So
yeah,
I'm rooting for Minnesota, but I feel I'm a little bit concerned with how close that game was with their Steph not being played in. So,
yeah,
but we'll see though.
yeah. That's definitely a question mark. Their 3 point shooting sometimes could be a question mark, and their contributions, like will McDaniel step up? Will he not? Stuff like that. And I feel like the Pacers, we haven't talked about them, but a big question mark for them is like, is Tyrese gonna be consistent offensively, or I guess the scoring wise, he's gonna be great, passing the ball and all of that, distributing. But will he have another 4 point game? Uh, that's that's a question mark for sure. But if he like averages like 20 and 15, something like that, then they're definitely like a team that could make the finals as well. So it is honestly anybody's game if everything like you know um, comes together in the right way. But I guess we'll see. We'll see. This is shaping up to be a very entertaining playoffs, as we mentioned already. And I am very excited to continue watching these games throughout the week, and we will, of course, go over them next Monday, I guess. But yeah, if it's fine with the. Oh, actually, quick news. Quick news. Before we end things off, I was about to end things off, but there was an award given this week to Kenny Atkinson, who won Coach of the Year. Well deserved. He is the coach for the Cleveland Cavaliers. Last year, the Cavs won 48 games, while this year they ended up increasing their win total and ended up winning 64 games. So this is a huge leap for the Cavs. Nobody expected them to be this good this year, but they were able to pull this together, and big thanks to Kenny. I believe Jamie Bickerstaff was a nominee, and Ime Udoka, I believe, was also a nominee. They were also very close, but yeah, I think Kenny did deserve this one.
Definitely agree on that. I did hear like some people saying like it thought that because I think wasn't the award announced on Monday or like Tuesday or something
Yeah, it
like
was
that. I think it
early.
might have been like before.
It was
It was
weird
before
timing.
game. Yeah, I think it was like before game two or something, or somewhere after game one, between in between game two. And I don't remember who it was, but I remember some analyst saying something like, "I don't think that was a happy." I don't think saying they don't think it was a happy day for Kenny Atkinson because the Cavs had just lost game one and are about to play a game two. I mean, maybe true. I thought it was kind of a little bit of a stupid comment to make because at the end of the day, he still deserved the award. Like, come on now. Um, but yeah, honestly, like the timing was definitely weird. But we'll say this though. Obviously, the Cavs did start off the series rough. But if they come back from a down the 2-0 series, losing the two games at home, that would be more fire to add, more fuel to add to the fire of why he absolutely deserved to win that award. So potentially another accolade to add to his resume soon if they can pull off this comeback.
Yeah, so shout out to Kenny for winning this award, well deserved. And I guess we could end things here. So thank you guys for watching. If you liked the video, like the video. If you're on YouTube, subscribe, leave a comment. That'd be great. If you're on audio platforms, leave a 5-star rating and review. Check out our socials. If you are a mom, happy Mother's Day. Shout out.
Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there, indeed.
Shout out to all the moms out there. But yeah, Hoops, do you want to say anything before we head out?
Yeah, I just want to say, mirroring Memo's words, thank you guys for the constant support to our channel. We greatly appreciate it, and we could not be where we are today without you guys. If you guys like our content, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, share. Follow us on all platforms. Be on the lookout for our YouTube shorts, TikToks, and more. And once again, happy Mother's Day to all the great mothers out there. Thank you guys for everything you guys do. And definitely stay tuned to our upcoming episodes. The playoffs are winding down. Before you know it, it will be the NBA Finals. And then before you know it, it will be the off season. So stay tuned. You don't want to miss our fire content. And wish you guys the great rest of your day and week, shall we say. Because by the time you guys watch, it will not be Sunday anymore.
Yeah. But yeah, we'll see you all next week. Good. Bye.